Hi guys, so I'm doing another video. I dropped the camera, so I'm hoping this is alright, and I'm guessing if you're watching this video it turned out alright. Yeah, so I talked a couple of videos ago, I talked a little bit about grit, and I wanted to take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about grits and grit rating on stones. Because one of the most common questions I get is what grit progression is the best one? What grit progression is the best one for me, etc. And it's a very difficult question to answer. And the thing is that not all grits are alike. And that's a little bit what I wanted to talk about today. So, if you think about grit for a minute, it's just it's a number. The lower the number, the coarser the stone, or the abrasive we're talking about. That is the gist of it. But if you think a little bit more about it, what determines the coarseness of the stone is not as simple. You have the abrasive itself, which can be made of different particles or different materials. You have aluminum oxide, you have diamonds, which are two very different substances. Diamonds being very, very, very hard, and aluminum oxide, of course, being hard as well, but it's a lot softer than diamonds. Then you have the size of the particles. Now, having a uniform mix in the stone is quite hard. There will always be some variations, but the variation will differ. Say you have one stone have large abrasive particles and a lot of small ones in between. Some stones, or some brands I might say, have a very uniform fine mix with a lot of same sized particles. And you have the amount of particles. When it comes to how the stone is made, you have what kind of bonding agent has been used, how much of it has been used, how hard is it packed. All these things combined determine the properties of the stone. So what I'm trying to say is that a 1000 grit stone from one manufacturer might not equal 1000 grit stone from another manufacturer. This one being a Tanaka Toishi, which is a very soft stone. It's very loosely bonded, which means you have constantly fresh grit exposed. On the other hand, you might have a very hard stone, like let's see, the Shapton glass stones, which in turn lets them make them very thin. So yeah, there are a lot of different things that determines the feel of the stone. So what I've done today, I have gathered a lot of 4000 grit stones, and that is just because I had a lot of them. I don't think I have a single grit in my collection that I have that many stones of. In addition, I have a Whetstones Pro here, which is it's a good knife, but it's a rather soft steel. And for today, it doesn't really matter, because I'm just going to use it to show you what I'm talking about. So, how fast the stones are is one thing. What you like is another thing. Your technique is a third thing. If you like to go fast, you might want a harder stone. If you have more control, you might like a softer stone. And softer stone tends to be faster because you have more fresh grit exposed all the time. And when I choose my stones, I go by what my aim is. So if I'm a finishing stone, if it's the last stone I'm on, I don't mind it being a little bit slow because I have more control. if it's, you know, say a step in polishing a larger bevel, then I like more speed because I want to get on to the next grit. And yeah, so to start off today, I'm going to bring out my Morihei 4000 grit stone, which is a rather nice stone. I've heard a lot of good things about them, and I am very happy to say a lot of good stuff about this stone as well. It gives a very nice edge, just the right amount of tooth for my liking. And yeah, let's just go for it and see how it feels. So, if you go by the sound, I hope you can hear it. This is, it's on the light side on feedback. The knife is kind of skating on the surface. You see there is some swarf forming, and it's starting to discolor the stone. So this is a very comfortable stone to work on. I'm sorry, but that's the neighbor out driving. So it's a comfortable stone to work on, and I tend to use this one as a finisher, as I have good control on it, and it's not as fast, and it's a very controlled, good stone. Being a little bit on the harder side, it is also very easy to clean and to maintain. And it doesn't load up, so this one I might actually, so this would be sufficient just to wipe it off like that, but I like my Naniwa Nagura, or fixing stone. It does a decent job of cleaning up these guys, like so. So that's the Morihei. It's one of my good stones. So if we let's turn up the speed just a little bit, and the next stone is a King 4000. And if you have a closer look, I'll see if the autofocus is still working. You see, there's a gap there. And I hate it, but that's the reason. That's actually the reason I have this stone. I ordered a batch, and this one was cracked, so instead of returning it, I just kept it for myself. And as long as it's glued, and as long as I'm a little bit careful, I don't mind the gap. I'm just gonna stick it into my holder here as well to keep it together. So, let's see what this baby can do. There is some, you can hear it. I don't know if there's some grit. The water is very dirty as well. I should have changed the water. There's old grit down there as well. So I think we got it. But as you can see, this stone is just a little bit faster than the Morihei. It releases a little bit more swarf into the mix here, and it's a smaller stone as well. I think it's the F1. I might be mistaken, but I could check that out for you guys. But this one, it's also it's a nice finishing stone. Gives a little bit more tooth, at least that's my opinion. But I see I have to do something to this. I might have to take it off the stand and glue it to something else, because you can hear me going over the crack there. If I stick to this. Some audio clues. try to clean it up a little bit. Some of you guys, this will be like polishing a turd. But that's also a fun thing about king stones, the finer ones. They give off a kind of a weird smell when you clean them. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I know it's my 8000, my king G1, and my king S1. That's the same thing. They smell kind of weird when you use them. But so now we have a little bit of slurry on top as well. Yeah, okay, we have pieces falling off. But to give it a fair shot, let's sped up the stone just a little bit as well, getting some fresh grit on there. And I tend to like my king stones with some slurry on them. And when you have some semi-soft stones, which easily will release some slurry, you kind of have two stones in one, because you can use them with or without. In general, if you don't go with the slurry, you'll have a harder feel, less feedback, and the knife will kind of skate over the surface. If you work up some slurry, you will increase the feedback, you will increase the speed, and yeah. This stone is a stone that I don't use that much, mainly because of the I have bigger stones, and stones that does it kind of falls in between. I'll show you the other stones I have down here, but that, and of course the gap. So this one might have seen its days. I'm just thinking as I'm filming. So what I might do is just remove it and use them as naguras or cleaning stones or whatever. We'll see. That might be another video, but that's not what we're talking about today. So the next one in my lineup is, oh yeah, I kind of forgot to mention these two previous stones are splash and go stones. That's an important thing. And this one is as well. This one I had in my last video. It's the Suehiro Ld601. It's the 4000 Whetstone in the Debado LD series from Suehiro. And one thing I've always liked about Suehiro is the speed of them. They tend to be speedier stones. And let's see. Just want to make sure I have removed all the grime and dirt from it. Yeah, oh sorry, that was my wife. And when the wife calls, you gotta answer. That's just how it is. So yeah, I took the LD for 601. I cleaned it just a little bit, just to make sure we got a fresh surface to work on. And you can see we have increased the speed quite a bit. There's a lot more metal attaching to the stone, and there's quite a bit of swarf forming already. The feedback is more pronounced. It's easy to, at least I think so. It's easy to feel where you are at, and the stone tells you if you are hitting the right spot or not. I don't have to tell you guys, I like my stones a little bit softer, and I like very pronounced feedback. Unless I'm doing my final polish or something like that. Especially for stainless steel. I think that's, I like faster stone, that's it. So the Ld601, it's great stone. It does give a nice edge as well. So the good thing about this one is you can start on a lower grade before you go on to this one. think about the 4000 grit range as well. You can easily start on, you know, say in Vitosera 800 and jump straight to this without any issues whatsoever. Unless you're doing larger surfaces, of course. So this is one of my go-to stones for, you know, general maintenance and stuff like that. If you're doing regular maintenance, this would be a great stone. If you just wanted a single one. Like so. So on to the next stone, and the next stone is actually we are going over to the soaking stones. It's a Miyagoshi. It's a vitrified stone. Don't know if you can hear it. It's a very hard stone. And these guys, I don't know if they're supposed to be like that, but I've seen several of the Ebisu, the 4000 grit ones, come with small cracks in them. And I think that's in part because of how they are produced. I have yet to have it impact the sharpening though, and the cracks doesn't run through the stone. So I'll see if I can show you. Let's see, there you go. That's how they are. So I try to look at them as you know, decoration, like a natural stone. They're supposed to be that way. If I'm wrong, let me know, because then I gotta talk to somebody. But yeah, so this one has been soaking for a while, half an hour or so. Doesn't have to soak that long, but it's been in there anyway. So let's see. So now I really gotta work for it. This is a very, very hard feedback, if I can say that. It's just like it feels like you're working on a lot coarser of a stone. I have sub 400 grit stones that kind of feel like this one, although it does give a good edge. Being a vitrified stone, it can load up just a little bit because the pores in the stone are so large. This guy doesn't drink as much water as some of the coarser one I have, because the water tends to, you know, go straight through the stone. This one holds its water pretty well. Oh, I went a little bit low on that one. But yeah, so this one has lost its keen edge at this point. It's starting to fill up with swarf. And at this point I would have to clean it up to have it perform as it did when we started. So the vitrified stones, especially those from Miyagoshi, they are very good stones. I love working on them, but they tend to require a little bit of TLC as you work on them, meaning cleaning. And so at this point I would want to get out a little bit of the swarf. Like so, and keep working. And now it's back to how it was. So you really feel the resistance when you're working on this one. And to me, I really like that. Like so. And how are we for time? We look great. So for the last stone, we are going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to clean this one. We are actually going to go up in grits. I'll keep this one. We are going to refresh our memories. And I'm going to go to the Rika 500. No, 5K, I'm sorry. And I'll show you kind of what I mean with this entire video. I could of course have done this with these two stones alone, but that wouldn't have been any fun now with it. So let's see how the Suehiro Ld601 was again. Decently fast, good feedback, and a good overall stone. The Rika is almost famous nowadays because of Riki. Let's clean it up. So this one has been soaking as well. It doesn't need a long soak. It likes a short little soak just to get there. And now let's see. So this is in part what I mean when I talk about grit. It's not always that a higher grit will give you a slower, better polishing stone or stuff like that, but just look at the speed of the stone. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but compared to all of the stones we have done here today, there is no doubt in my mind that the Rika 5000 is a lot faster than any of these guys and removes metal a lot more effectively than any of the 4000 Whetstones. So grits are never really black and white, and therefore it's always a very hard question to ask when people want a definitive answer as to what grits should I go for, and what kind of stones and what kind of progression is the best. Because there is no such thing as the best. You gotta. It's a very boring answer, but you gotta try a little bit different stuff. If you're just sharpening your knife, you'll get by with most stones. Go for a coarse one, go for a medium one, and go for a fine one. If you start to get into it, and you want to start polishing and stuff like that, you got to try different stones and find out what you like and talk to people who has experience with them before you order. That's the the boring answer to that. And to add to the confusion, what we refer to when we refer to grits or grains is, you have a Japanese standard, you have a European standard, you have an American standard, which also differs. And I guess you got a Chinese standard as well, because they are never what you expect them to be, as you know. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to do with this video, and it's just something that is quite hard. You know, we humans, we tend to want to simplify things, no matter how complicated they are. And of course, something as complicated as what we've talked about today, and to boil it down to a single number is a very optimistic thing, because there are so many variables. I'm just going to do a couple of full-length strokes here, and I just wanted to see if I still have a decent edge on this knife. I haven't paid any attention to either the angle or anything, but so the Rika is a very nice stone. I love it for, you know, both finishing. It leaves a good toothy edge as well, and it's also a moderately soft stone, so I like it too. I like it for polishing as well. It's a good stone. It's Let's see. Yeah. Whoa. We got some burr on there. Oh, and some water as well, apparently. And I always tend to finish on we've got a quite large burr on there actually. So I'm gonna do quite a bit of a stropping here. And just to be sure. Now let's see if we fare any better. Yeah. Oh no. So yeah, so that's good. I'm just playing. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to do today. I'm going to do more videos are coming. I'll take any suggestions that you have, and just hit 950 subscribers. That's kind of cool, and I hope I'll approaching 1,000, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'll keep making videos as long as people like them, and if people don't like them, I'll probably make them anyway, because this is fun. So if you're still watching, I really do appreciate it, and if you want to see something else, let me know, and I hope I'll see you guys here for the next video as well. So have a good day.